Has your fantasy season so far been a total and complete stinker? Well, it's not too late to turn it around and still have some fun. Don't worry about that team that has 2 wins or that team that has 3 wins and has no chance of making the playoffs. Still compete in your league because that's good sportsmanship. But instead, join Underdog Fantasy, a proud sponsor of the Fantasy Couriers. You can do daily, weekly drafts for single games or for multiple games. You can also join the Pick'em contest where you can choose, will a player get higher or lower? Will Josh Allen get higher than 273.5 yards or will he get lower? The options are endless. There is so much fun to be had with Underdog Fantasy Sports. Join now with the code Couriers and your deposit will be matched. Plus, you'll support an amazing, awesome podcast. Speaking of which, now on to the show.
What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Oh, JJ Wang, man. This has been a rough week for the DJ Dove body. I feel like I've been through a ringer. I finally got some meds in me today so I can go for Thanksgiving. It's our Thanksgiving episode. Apologies to Couriers Nation. As Brenton said so eloquently after we recorded, and it did everything. I don't know where the recording is, and I was feeling terrible. It was late. He said, that was a surefire waste of a podcast recording. Well said, my friend.
Yeah, well said. Kind of depressing, spend all that hard work dedicating, to the time to the show, and it just goes poof gone. But hey, it happens, man. No hard feelings here.
I mean, I was looking. I was like, "That's our first." Well, this is episode 179. I think it is.
Ooh,
179. I guess it's 178 because we just missed 179.
178.
But that was the first one we missed. Like back in the day, in the summers, we had that happen a couple of times while I was learning things, and we re-recorded them. But this was just life just catches up, and
yeah. Plus, it was already kind of late, and
yeah.
I have a bedtime, guys. Sorry.
You got to get up and get some quality meats together for the valley, man.
I do. I got to send meats all up and down the valley.
That's good stuff. So yeah, but we're ready. I'm actually releasing this one Wednesday before Thanksgiving because we're going to focus because there's 3 games on Thanksgiving and 1 game on Friday. So we want to get ahead. So if you're listening to us and you're listening just on Friday, you can fast forward through a couple minutes to skip the Thanksgiving stuff, jump to the Black Friday game. If you're listening to us on Saturday, fast forward through the first 4 games. We do game by game, but figured I'd get out Wednesday night. Listen to it on the way to Grandma's house.
Well, news to me, I did not know there was a game Fridays. All right.
Of course, I know the game that's on Friday. It's the Black Friday Jets. I know the game's on Friday.
I feel like a big dummy right now. So.
Yeah, it's popped up. It's like the commercial that pops up. Black Friday, blah blah blah. Black Friday, and our Thanksgiving at my parents' house is on Friday. And I said, Mom, can we have it at noon? Because by 1:30, I want to watch my Dolphins play. And she did it for me because
I'll keep that in mind.
My mama's boy. My mama loves me. So let's get into the week. I got a couple questions. It's funny if anybody has sleeper today. Just looks like a terrible day. Like everybody went from healthy to questionable because I'm guessing everybody got off the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, you're right. Probably.
Our phones just blew up. So everybody, don't freak out. It's just a day off.
Now that you say something, I did know that is true.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of.
I was like, holy moly, everybody's a poop. But Aaron Jones is out this week. That's a big out. That just means A.J. Dillon probably gets a little bit pushed up as we're going in.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it hasn't been a great season for Aaron Jones. It's actually been quite disappointing. But then again, you would think a bad season for Aaron Jones would mean a good season for A.J. Dillon. And from what I've seen, that really hasn't been the case. He's obviously been the RB1 on that team without really much competition. And it really hasn't panned out for him as well, right?
He's been the biggest disappointment of them all, but it came out because it's tomorrow. On a bright side, something that the Los Angeles Rams are thankful for, unless you're a Darrell Henderson owner, Kyron Williams is designated to come back, and they cut Darrell Henderson. They didn't just put him on a practice squad; they straight up cut the dude.
Yeah, they didn't mess around. So I'm guessing they're keeping Royce. Are they keeping Royce Freeman?
I'm guessing
I guess
he's better than Darrell Henderson anyway.
Yeah, obviously they liked him better. So they're just going to keep him roll with obvious. Kyrie Williams comes back. I don't even see him. I don't even anticipate him like holding back when he comes back. I think if he's ready to go, he just jumps right in there and was doing continues what he was doing before he got injured.
I mean, Royce looked better than Henderson anyway, and it's funny. It's how Henderson comes back. He's like, I've been cut. Now he'll sign with them next week. It's like like going back to that boyfriend, like
Yeah,
hey,
it's just that reliability factor. When you know you're down, you just need somebody there that just kind of knows
yeah.
what's going on. So that's him.
Guys, so we got a couple of questions here for you. As my screen just went wonky. First question comes from Josh. We got to pick two for PPR. We're looking at Chase, Waddle, Nico Collins, or Deontay Johnson. Pick 2 point per reception.
I mean, this is a surprisingly tough question.
Yes,
So, I mean, I feel like the safest person would be Waddle because his quarterback is still there. There's not really much of a difference. Then I would think the second safest would be Nico Collins just because of the offense that he's in and CJ how well CJ Stroud playing. I mean, you've got Jamar Chase working with Browning, I'm guessing.
can
I
you
don't really, huh?
could you set Chase? Like that's the tough
That's
question.
that's yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I mean, it's Jamar Chase. I mean, how do you set Jamar Chase?
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like the safest. I mean, I feel like the way you've got to go is Chase Waddle. But I mean, you're not comfortable with it because Waddle's playing like poop. Chase had 7 points last week. That might not be any different because we don't know how good this guy is going to be. But at least Nico Collins, there's a chance he gets like 20 points because we've seen it before.
Yeah.
That's like the safe. I think Nico Collins is like the safest play, but even then, you're not really satisfied with Nico Collins at all because he can disappear. And Deontay Johnson, I just want no parts of that Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Unless you have Warren for 2 plays a game. And
Well, yeah, I'm not even confident in that. It's that offense is. Oh man, it's bad.
and Nico, you just got to watch. Noah Brown might be back this week, so that would
Yeah,
that's also
that is a surprisingly tough question. But you got your Chase Waddle, just got
yeah.
continue going with that. I guess.
Got to
Sorry,
play.
man.
Dinesh, he's a guy that hits me up every week asking about lineup questions, and we'll message back and forth. And I thought I'd put his last question on here because I don't know. It's defenses, and I'm stuck on defenses. But he's got Detroit versus Green Bay or New England versus the Giants.
Oh man, I'd probably go Detroit versus Green Bay because Jordan Love is kind of
Fiddles.
prone to mistakes against good teams. The Lions have got a good defense. I mean, they playing. I mean, they're coming off. I mean, they won, but coming off a rough game. Don't see it happening twice. So I'd probably go the Lions.
Yeah,
And the other game, it's
it's a
New
terrible.
England against New York. I don't know what's going to happen. It's probably going to be a terrible 7-3 game. So I mean, that might not be a bad defense.
The team that wins is going to lose because they'll get a better draft pick.
It's going to be dreadful.
um, and then Sharon wants to know, and I give Sharon props. There was a discussion sort of afterwards for her question, and Sharon does like ESPN leagues just to get to do football. And part of the question that came up was, why are all these guys on a waiver wire? And she's like, I just do random leagues, but I keep doing it throughout the year. So kudos to you, Sharon, for even though some of the schmucks in there, like it's prone to want to give up, but just going with the game and playing the game through just to keep going. So kudos to you, Sharon. Sharon had Mark Andrews needs a tight end. The waiver wire is pretty money. You got Ferguson, Logan Thomas, McBride, Taysom Hill, Otten or Jonu Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Taysom Hill seems cool, but I mean, like, I'm not really sure how long that's you can like because like I guess it wasn't very good this past week. I'm guessing. Uh, but I mean, I feel like you want to go with the best offense, and then the Cowboys have the best offense. Ferguson plays well, but he can disappear sometimes too. I
Splitting hairs.
mean,
Got a different idea.
what is it?
I say we're gonna finally disagree.
Yeah, so let me hear what you think. Since you're the tight end guru, I feel like you should be answering this. I mean, this is
I'm
your
all Trey McBride playing. He's been hot recently. Kyler's back. That offense is going to pick up. He's got the offense all to himself. I would go with McBride more for targets because he is. I mean, you thought Hollywood was number one in Arizona, and apparently he's a big pile of poop. Or everybody there. Rondale Moore seems to be having the better games of all the receivers, but that's because he's running. I don't even know, but McBride's had some solid weeks. He's an up and coming young tight end.
Yeah, I mean that's a fine play. I mean, I would start Trey McBride because he'd be your best option at tight end, and you picked him up rather late. But Kyler Murray just scares me. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Kyler Murray's game. I know always scores well, but I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Kyler Murray. But don't let that deter you from start. That is a good call, Trey McBride. That's probably the route that I would probably go. You talked me into that very easily.
Yeah, I like Jake Ferguson a lot. I do like him. He's just, I don't know. I would love to. I'm on the Dalton Schultz high right now. I'm super excited for Dalton Schultz. He's been.
But yeah, that offense is rolling right now, and the tight end seems to be going pretty well. I feel like Dalton Schultz is just as safe as any other tight end outside like the big three, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or four, or whatever.
Well, now that they're getting knocked down.
They're all injured. They're all terrible.
Here we go. Game by game preview. So the great news of this week is the NFL decided not to give any teams Thanksgiving weekend off. So there's no buys this week. You can play your best players on your team, so you won't be able to beat somebody who I think we're playing this week in our bourbon because there's no buys. So play your best players that aren't hurt.
I think it's a good job. I think it's a good idea for the NFL. I know it's Thanksgiving, people want to be with their families, but these guys get paid a lot of money to miss these kind of holidays, and I'd probably miss this kind of money. I think the more eyes you're gonna have a lot of eyes on the NFL, so you can get as many eyes on all the teams instead of 2 or 3 missing out on the holiday weekend. So just throw them all out there and just let people enjoy as much football as humanly possible.
Yeah, I'm still a fan for the mid-season. Just everybody takes a bye week. It'll never happen.
I mean,
your skills come. So here we go. We got gobble gobble Thanksgiving Thursday. Here we go. Thanksgiving Thursday. We have 3 games. 12:30, which makes me sad because usually Thanksgiving dinner at my in-laws is like 1:30. I'm like, no. It's the Green Bay Packers versus the greatest team in the NFL, number 2 ranked on a lot of ESPN and like team rankings, Detroit Lions. They're actually a team this is the first time. When was the last time that on Thanksgiving Day everybody's like, yes, the Lions are going to be good to watch? 1998.
Barry Sanders, I guess. What 92? I guess.
There's been some hullabaloo about that. Scott Mitchell's not happy about that, and the Barry Sanders. I haven't watched it yet, but the documentary he put out. But yeah, so we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. Oof. Is this going to be as bad as we think, or is Green Bay going to?
I mean, I thought kind of the Green Bay would probably play better last week, and they ended up almost losing. I think it's going to be the same thing. It's like one of those division games, and everybody's going to be watching. I think Jordan Love plays similar to what he did this week. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be blowout at all.
So Jameson Williams starting to get comfortable in the Detroit offense. He's getting more percentages. Would you rather start Jameson Williams on a high-powered Lions offense or name a Green Bay Packers receiver? I'll get the touchdowns, maybe.
Yeah, probably go one of the Packers receivers. Well, like you're picking whichever one's your favorite. I'd probably go Jaden Reed. I like him. I'm a little more fan of him. Evidently, he's got some rushing capability. So with Aaron Jones out, that might mean he might get more. So like a Deebo Samuel light, right? This is kind of how the
Deebo Samuel.
Well, yeah. But I mean, this is kind of how the Deebo thing started out. So I mean, if he's got the ability to run and you need running backs, hey, I mean, why not go for it, right?
Yes, I'm a Dobbs truther, but Dobbs is your touchdown vulture guy. So yeah, I think
gotta hope for that touchdown. Touchdowns are hard to live by.
I mean, these games are so frustrating. Some years they're so bad that your team is already wrecked by Thanksgiving. The end of Thanksgiving, you're like Sunday. I don't care. Your team's
Yeah,
just done. You're like I don't even give a crap anymore because it's already wrecked.
that
But
is that is the issue when you got this many games early. That is true. I never really thought about that. Yep,
uh,
that's true.
imagine if Jordan Love is your starting quarterback and you know you're done. He's gonna get pummeled by the beginning. But I mean, you're gonna start your studs. Last question: who has a bigger day on Turkey Day, Gibbs or Montgomery?
I want to say Montgomery, but I just Gibbs is playing so good right now, and I'm going to have to go because he's just got that combination of everything. And Montgomery's just, I mean, manages somehow to keep having good game after good game. Somehow, it's amazing.
They're
Kudos
equal.
to him. So I'm going to go Jameer Gibbs, but I mean, what if it's not going to surprise me if the same thing happened last week? One has 22 and one has 19.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not going to surprise me.
Yeah, I mean that's how they're setting it up, and it's working. Heck
So
yeah,
I got a question: Does David Montgomery continue into next year with this? If he's back
yeah,
from the line, are you trusting him?
yeah. The
Continue going into
contract
next
they
year.
gave him, what, 3 years? They gave him a really good contract, so that's why he's
So I
there.
mean, so he's obviously, I mean, he's obviously played well enough to earn the same, to come back and still compete for a job. I'm just checking.
He's the Mark Ingram to the Alvin Kamara. This is how Dan Campbell's doing it. So I think they're both going to be solid. Hopefully this week it's not him because I'm playing against him and you. But let's go to the classic. The classic, how we had it for years. The Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. We all grew up seeing this route. Oh no, we didn't. Seeing this rivalry. Does Sam Howell step it up? I mean, we know that probably Dak and CD are going to kill it. Does Sam Howell
So
step
this
it
is
up to
this
show out?
no this is what's going to happen. I can already see it. So this is going to be the first. This is probably the only time all year that I watch the Cowboys play a game. Just watching the Cowboys play, and I think Dak Prescott is. I mean, he's the average. I don't want to say average, but he has really bad games. And with me watching it, he's going to have a really bad game, and it's just going to reaffirm why I don't root for this team anymore. And I think Sam Howell has a better game than Dak Prescott.
Wow. Who has a better
I think
game?
the Cowboys are going to have a bad game.
Yeah, I can't roll with you on that. The Commanders, they just lost to the Giants. They're dead to me. The Giants
You're
are on the.
absolutely right, but it's the Cowboys against
Didn't
the
the
Commanders,
Commanders
man.
barely beat the Patriots, right?
It doesn't matter.
Who did they lose to? I don't remember. But who has a better game fantasy wise? Brian Robinson or Tony Pollard?
I'm gonna go Brian Robinson. I mean, he's top five running back against a barely a top 20 running back. So I'm gonna go with Brian Robinson until
Yeah,
prove it otherwise.
I'm with you. I think it scares me as Gibson might be back, which would mess up some of that receiving stuff he's been getting, which has helped him. So, but otherwise, yeah, the rest of it's Cowboys defense should maybe run them over if Sam Howell keeps turning the
Oh,
ball over.
Cowboys should dominate. They should absolutely dominate this game, and I hope they do. I need Dak to score a lot of points. I need CD late. I need a shootout just across the board. But Dak disappoint. The Cowboys disappoint. That's what the Cowboys do.
Hey, they're farther from 8-8 than they usually are. So
That's
the
true. Good point. Very well. Good point.
the nightcap is a West Coast game, which is kind of cool, meaning that
Yes.
the teams over there they'll be able to go to bed at a normal time. So it's the 49ers visiting the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks look like poo. And the injuries I left it out because of this here. Kenneth Walker the third is more I think out. I don't know if it's official yet. They're not going to put him on IR, so he's not officially out by the time we're recording, but he's going to be out. And that's a Zach Charbonnet game. He looked okay-ish last week. Are you confident in Charbonnet as an RB? I guess
Oh,
I'm.
I'm not. No, I'm not confident. In order for me to be confident, I gotta see it first. I gotta. I mean, he had some yards, but I want to see a game where he can do it before I'm confident. And I think 49ers should just probably just roll. I mean, it might not. I mean, they're going to be up big, I know it's a division game, so it might not be. I mean, they could be closer than 49ers just came off a bad stretch. They can revert right back to that. Doesn't surprise me at all. But I mean, the 49ers should roll. So I'm not confident in Charbonnet at all.
All the tryptophan these teams will have because they had Thanksgiving lunch. They'll be so tired. um, best receiver in the game not named Ayuk.
Oh,
Fantasy.
I'm gonna go with DK Metcalf. Well, I'll go DK Metcalf at the moment. It's tough. I mean, you can say Debo, but I just think I'm gonna go Metcalf for the moment. But
Has
that if
been the most consistent because he's like 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and everybody else goes up, down, up, down.
that yeah, I mean that could be. But I mean, I mean Debo's okay, but Debo's just you just don't know what you're gonna get, man. It's tricky.
Hey, all you know is if Debo plays, the 49ers are really good because he's the cog
Yeah,
in the favor.
evidently you're right. I guess I'm stupid.
The first Black Friday game ever. 3 o'clock Eastern? When did that? I thought it was 1:30. Dang, on it. 3 o'clock Eastern, Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. And their new starting quarterback, Tim Boyle. Oh, this is going to be a bloodbath, isn't it?
It should be. I mean, this is who was the. Yeah. I mean,
He was for the
how is
line.
Tim Boyle your? There's got to be
Is that
somebody
just
with a
that
better
bad?
name than Tim Boyle out there that you can. I guess not. I mean, I'm sorry, Tim Boyle. I don't even know who you are. You're in the NFL,
He
so
was a spot starts for the Lions a couple years ago.
I mean, their name is familiar, but I mean, it's Tim Boyle, man. How does this happen in the NFL?
What does it say about Zach Wilson? Like, let's be honest here.
I mean, Garrett Wilson could be. Well, I mean, actually, there's a possibility it could be a slight upgrade. Zach Wilson was pretty bad. So, I mean, there's a possibility there could be a slight upgrade.
Could be. Yeah, it's the thing bad for Tim Boyle is the Dolphins defense is really starting to step up.
It's got to be a slight upgrade because Zach Wilson is about to be out of the league and Tim Boyle is still in the league. So, I guess it's got to be an upgrade.
One would hope.
I gotta tell myself because Garrett Wilson with the -1 point is absolutely murderous.
Yeah, because one of the was it the head coach? Somebody recruited. Was it the head coach? Might have somebody recruited Tim Boyle, so there's like a long time connection with Boyle. That's on the game.
Well, God, I hope so because no, they need something. Well, I mean, evidently Aaron Rodgers is going to be back in a couple weeks, so
by then they'll be 4-10, so it won't matter. Jalen Waddle's going to be better than every receiving option on the Jets, right?
Well, geez, I hope so. Yeah, Tim freaking
He's
Boyle.
been kind of poopy. He's been kind of poopy.
He has been, but he's got Tim Boyle as there. He should be. If Jalen Waddle can't outscore a Jets receiver, he should be benched the rest of the year.
And then maybe A-Chain will be back. We'll see. It's precautionary. There's nothing coming out really, but they say it's Mostert's backfield. So if you have Mostert, roll with him, and then if you have A-Chain, you can gamble. But you're rolling.
If you got A-Chain, you might as well just forget it, man. He's going to be injured all the time.
No, shush. Okay, that's our weekend.
One hit, man. One hit. That's all it took. One hit.
So everybody who fast forwarded, here's your Sunday slate. Saints versus the Falcons. Two teams that were leading this terrible, terrible division, and now they both look like poop. So we are looking at Alvin Kamara. Bijan's going to be back. You're looking at some receivers that are majorly underperforming. So you've got other guys you've had step in. Maybe you drafted Tank Dell, you put him in there. And you have Olave on your team, and you have Drake London on your team. But you only have one spot.
I'm definitely going Chris Olave because I mean, at least the upside, at least Olave scores points most games. Sometimes London, and especially with Ritter coming back, we know how bad it was with Ritter in the beginning. As he wasn't even catching passes. So I mean, Ritter coming back and playing, at least Olave. I'm taking Olave.
We need 22 Ritter where he just peppered London. I'm like, what happened?
Well, we need just a different Ritter altogether.
Yeah, so I mean, so that it's nice to have Bijan back in your lineups.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always nice.
Pitts.
Huh?
Taysom Hill or Kyle Pitts? Conversation I never thought you'd have.
Probably Taysom Hill, just because I mean the upside is insane.
And the excitement of my week is I get to start Alvin Kamara and Jahmyr Gibbs in the same backfield for a team. That makes me so happy.
It's pretty fun.
It's so awesome. To the garbage game of the week, the Pittsburgh. I don't know how they're still in the playoff Steelers with Kenny Pickett and that garbage offense versus the dead Cincinnati Bengals. And what is it, Browning? Is that who the quarterback is? I lost his name. It's going to be a terrible game.
So I'm definitely starting Browning, over Kenny Pickett if given the opportunity, my friend.
Is is the Bengals year? Is this going to be the year they just run Joe Mixon into the ground?
If Browning turns out to be no good in K pass, I guess they're going to have to run Joe Mixon a lot. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, he's already been run. I feel like he's already been run into the ground. I mean, I feel like he's at the end of his career anyway, probably. So I mean, you might as well just give him his remaining carries and send him out strong.
A receiver not named Chase that you would play if you had to due to injuries from this game.
Probably Deontay Johnson, maybe. I mean, he's the safest, but I might actually pick Trent Irwin over anything.
I was gonna add. That was my question.
Josh Stern Pittsburgh offense at this moment. Kenny Pickett. I mean, I was a fan of Kenny Pickett, man. Took a big old crap on me. But you know what? Just wipe it off. Pick somebody else again next year. It's all good.
We're pretty bad at this. Trenton Irwin was going to be my because Trenton Irwin would have been second team offense running some stuff.
We're not pretty bad. I mean, I heard a lot of people say Kenny Pickett was going to be better than. Well, I didn't think Kenny Pickett was going to be great. I thought he would be a consistent, good QB2 that you can rely on.
15 somewhere.
Yeah, well, not even. I mean, maybe like a 16, 17. Somebody you can rely on if you need. And he has not been that at all.
He's been what we thought he was when he got drafted. So yeah, that game's going to be terrible. Let's go to a game that could be really good. Probably the game of the afternoon. The Jaguars at the Texans. You're locked and loaded, right? Like, you're playing everybody?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Look, whoever you play, your best players on your team are.
What about the
obvious? But I mean, so are you asking, am I trusting Trevor Lawrence? Oh, absolutely not. Because Trevor Lawrence could very well resort back to the Trevor Lawrence from a week ago that I would have been highly disappointed in. Am I trusting Calvin Ridley? I'm still probably starting Christian Kirk just because at least it's consistent. And Ridley might score me 1 point. I cannot. But yeah, I'm definitely starting Trevor Lawrence. Am I probably going to be disappointed? Sure, because I've been disappointed in his career throughout. And I'm kind of disappointed in Travis Etienne over the last couple of weeks. I think they'll play better, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tennessee comes out and beats the crap out of them, just because that's what happens in the NFL. That would surprise
me because they're playing Houston, so that would be really confusing.
I mean, yeah.
I'm messing with you. I know what you're talking about. The question is, would you rather start both Texans receivers, the big guns, before either of the Jaguars, or would Kirk be after Tank Dell or before Nico?
Oh, I'm definitely starting Tank Dell over Christian Kirk. I mean, that's like
Nico.
I'd probably go him and then Nico Collins, probably. So I'd probably go Kirk too, and then go Nico Collins because I think the floor on Nico or it's just tough. I don't trust him 100%.
Pierce might be back. Are you still playing Singletary in a flex because of all the touches he got, or do you think they're going to give it back to Pierce? Or is it going to be?
I don't see how you can go away from Singletary. I mean, Pierce was not playing good at all. So, and Singletary has done more in these 3 games than Pierce has done all year. I mean, Pierce is going to get carries, but I still think Singletary gets the majority.
Bucks and Colts. Another game that it'll be okay for fans because you got Mike Evans will stud it up, and you got. Would you rather start Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, or Chris Godwin?
Oh, Tank Dell, man! I'm starting Tank Dell.
I meant Josh Downs. Sorry, Tank Dell's so Josh Downs, Michael Pittman.
I'm still going Michael Pittman. I think Michael Pittman is. I don't know if I want to start Chris Godwin unless I absolutely have to. I mean, he's kind of scaring me. But Josh Downs is Josh Downs. I'm not there yet. I'm still starting Pittman. He's played rather okay. He hasn't killed you. Hasn't been great, but he hasn't killed you.
And if you were able to, I picked up the Colts defense on bye last week and just had to carry 2 defenses. Their playoff schedule is not too shabby. This is something to keep an eye on as you're getting towards the end, is looking at where defenses play, because you might get stuck. If you waiver wire it, everybody's going to have the Ravens, all those good guys, but then you'd be like, who has an okay? Because Colts defense isn't great, but it's not terrible, and that's all you really need. You don't want You love a 22, but you don't want a -3. So
Yep.
here we go. Game of the week: Patriots versus the Giants. Do we care? Okay,
No. I
who
mean,
has a
we
better
care
game,
because
Vito or Mac Jones?
I'm going. Well, Mike Jones might not even start, so I'm going to go DeVito over Max. I'll go DeVito over anything New England has.
Saquon or Ramondre?
I'll definitely Saquon.
That's it. I'm done with the game.
Yeah,
Unless you have
that's
something else
about
for
it.
it. Panthers at Titans. Another crapola of dumpster fired him. Derrick Henry. You ask it on Sunday. To me, this is the litmus test. If Derrick Henry can't do it this week, I'm scared because the
Yeah,
Panthers
oh, yeah.
are terrible.
I agree 100%. I just traded for Derrick Henry, so I feel like it was probably obviously a bad idea at this point. Hopefully, it makes me look smart for a week. If he can't do it this week, I feel like it's going to be tough for him to do it in any game. I mean, it can't get any easier than this. I don't think.
How about Adam Thielen having one of the greatest years of his career on a 1-9 team? Doesn't that suck for him?
I mean, does it really? I mean, you're killing it you're killing it when you're old. I mean, doesn't matter.
He's helping Bryce Young get ready for Marvin Harrison.
He's old as dirt, and he's out there killing. I don't care what NFL team it's on. He's out here killing it in the NFL. Good for him. I don't like Adam Thielen, but
I love me some Adam Thielen.
hey, man, good for you, dude.
Okay, the 4 o'clock slate on Sunday. You got the Rams, the Cardinals, another crapola of crapola games. We got Kyron Williams coming off the injury versus James Conner in the backfield. Which of those two guys has a better day?
I'm gonna go. Kyrie Williams. I just think he's gonna come back in and just take over the run game. And he was surprisingly good before he got injured. So maybe he can be surprisingly good again. But that's the way I would go.
And keep an eye on Cooper. He's got that hammy. It's a little worrisome. If Cooper's out, that means Puka is locked and loaded.
I feel like he's pretty much locked and loaded at any point. I mean, you got to start him whether the cup is in there or not.
Oh, yeah, I learned that the hard way. Browns and Broncos. This could be the most terrible game of the week with no team with a losing record. Broncos are 5-5. Browns are 7-3. Yuck! Like I don't know how the Browns are 7-3. Like that tells you that defense wins championships, if nothing else, because that defense is so good.
I
But
mean, defense. I know defense can get you to the championship, obviously.
yeah,
But I feel like when the championship game comes, man, you've got to be able to score points, man.
Ford's
But yeah, I mean, Ford's been okay. I mean, this game, I don't even know what to think of this game. This could be, well, any game the Broncos play, I feel like is bad and ugly, just a miserable experience. The Browns got it. This could be, oh man, Browns offense is dreadful. I would probably stay away from everything in this game minus Jerome Ford.
even Cortland Sutton, who's been hot.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're probably going to start Sutton just because he's been hot. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you would start Sutton.
Oh, yeah, the game. It's the best looking game, but it looks terrible. Chiefs at the Raiders, who are absolutely putrid right now. So the Chiefs,
Raiders are, yeah.
Devontae Adams finally last year got some play. He looked like he was getting some looks and was Devontae Adams again. I really have no questions going into this game because it's going to be basically the same guys, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. You can start Pacheco or Josh Jacobs. Who has a better game? Jacobs has been petering, but he's a good NFL running back, but fantasy
he's just not there. I'm still gonna go Josh Jacobs because I mean, who in their right mind is going to pick Pacheco over Josh Jacobs? I don't think any. Well, I mean, not saying there's not going to. All right, there are definitely people out there that are going to, but I mean, I find it hard to veer from Jacobs to Pacheco.
Yeah, that could be ugly too. The game that I'm going to root for the Eagles, Bills versus the Eagles. If the Eagles can beat the Bills, that puts us 2.5 games ahead. If we can beat the Jets,
So stop. So yeah, so we all assume that whenever the Bills play, you're rooting for the other team. I mean, that's not really an option. So I feel like at this point, you don't have to. We all know, man. There's pretty.
the question is, The Bills, they were pretty like I got to root for Josh Allen. What team do you think shows up on Sunday?
Who knows? I mean, I can't answer that. But you would just assume go back that the good Bills show up because that's what you're hoping for. So let's say good Bills.
Okay, you got is Khalil, we talked about him on the show. No one got to hear, so we'll hit him up again. Khalil Shakir. What are your thoughts going? Is he above Gabe Davis?
Oh, that absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm starting Shakira over Gabe Davis. I mean, I love me some Gabe Davis. It's been highly documented my love for Gabe Davis. I
Oh,
mean, I still like Gabe Davis. I'm not going to say I hate the guy. I mean, I like Gabe Davis, but not enough to where I'm still blindly starting Gabe Davis over the new Gabe Davis. So I'll start the new Gabe Davis.
that sounds great to me.
I'm a sucker
Ravens.
for a Gabe. I'm a sucker for a Gabe Davis, man.
Who's this year's Gabe Davis? Sunday night game. The Ravens at the Chargers. Two good teams. The Chargers are up.
Wait a minute. Are the
Not
Chargers
a
good?
terrible. They're the best worst team probably in the
All
league.
right, so they're not just because they're not terrible doesn't mean they're good.
Well, the Steelers are freaking 6-4. The Browns are 7-3, and the Chargers are 4-6. Which team is better?
I would say the Browns
I don't know, man.
because if you put the Browns against the Chargers, I think the Browns win all day.
3-2.
It doesn't matter how you win; you gotta win, baby.
Okay, so Ravens versus the Chargers. I'll leave it there. Sunday night, but it's in San Diego, so the Ravens have to go to the
Oh
west,
yeah, it's
all the way over to the
awesome.
west coast.
Awesome fans they got to go up against there.
Yeah. Now, who has a bigger night, Gus Edwards or Austin Eckler?
Oh, I'm Gus Edwards. He's going to get 40, 60 yards and 2 touchdowns, man. I don't know what I'm getting from Austin Eckler. But I mean, that is actually that's a very good question. I think most people are going to be like, hey, man, how can obviously you're going to start both these guys. But I mean, I think right now I feel a little more confident in Gus Edwards. Yeah, I
Isaiah
love
like
Austin.
is Isaiah likely someone you even consider right now, or do you
Oh,
got to?
absolutely. In this tight end landscape, everybody is an option. We all know Lamar Jackson likes to throw to the tight end. Well, or does he just like to throw to Mark Andrews? We're about to find out. Is it a tight end thing or is it a Mark Andrews thing? Until further notice, for the sake of me being, on the positive side, I'm going to assume that it's a tight end thing and that it all works. So whoever's in there is good.
And Monday night we'll wrap up Thanksgiving weekend, going into before the December. Oh no, that'll be what the Thursday night game will be November, but or no, it'll be December. The Bears or the Vikings are going to play each other. We're going to have Joshua Dobbs facing off against Justin Fields. You're in a one quarterback league. You had Justin Fields drafted early. You got Dobbs off the waivers. Who are you playing?
I'm going to go Justin Fields. I want to say Josh Dobbs. I really do. I like Josh, but I like Justin Fields more. I got more invested in Justin Fields. And Justin Fields has looked better over the few games before he was hurt and right now. Kind of like how he did last year. Like the second half of last year, he came on and started playing really well. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but this
Problem
is
is they're
like,
3-8.
yeah, but I mean, he can still play. It doesn't matter how bad. I mean, he can still play well. So I'm going to say you're still starting Justin Fields unless you got a hatred for the man and you don't think he's a very good player. And then in that case, why is he even on your team, right? So
Put him on Sharon's waiver wire.
yes, I'm sure somebody will pick. The funny thing is nobody likes Justin Fields, but if he was on the waiver wire, everybody would go get Justin Fields. So all you guys out there can eat it because you want him on your team, just like someone has him on their team.
For sure. Okay.
I
Well,
don't mean that. I don't mean that at all. So,
I
but
love it.
still,
I love soapbox,
but
baby. We're
yeah, it's just like Trey Lance. If I was to drop Trey Lance on the waiver wire,
oh, I wouldn't touch
every
it. No.
everybody would put a waiver wire in for him just to have him on their. Yeah, Trey Lance might be a little far. That might be a little far, but I bet half the league would still go after Trey Lance to have him on their team.
Except for the guy that drafted him. They'd be like, I'm done with that stuff. So, JJ Wang, we are getting ready to go on a tryptophan high for the weekend, eat turkey till it comes out our ears, then eat turkey for the next 7 days, and then have turkey that are. You heading up to your mom's for some turkey?
I'll go to my mom's for some turkey. That's about it. Usually, just one good turkey dinner is really all I
Yeah.
need. I mean, that's really all I need. 'Cause I just need that fulfillment one time. I don't need it multiple times. I just need that traditional Thanksgiving dinner just one time. So yeah, that's hopefully. I'm not saying I won't end up at another dinner somewhere because I might, and I will
That's how
eat,
JJ Wang rolls.
and I will eat just as much as I did the previous Thanksgiving dinner. But I just need one.
So,
So, yeah, words of wisdom. So with it being high school, I go to a lot of high school football games now that my daughter is in high school. I really enjoy it. By the way, I love going to all these high school games. It's crazy, but I just want everybody out there to know the way these referees are treated is absolutely insane. And there's going to come a point where there's not going to be any referees to do these games. And the referees that are doing them are going to be so bad, it's going to get out of control. So just remember, these guys, just take it easy on these guys. It's not worth it. They're doing the best they can, I promise you. They're not out there trying to screw anybody, I guarantee it. As always, trust yourself and trust the process.